Unfortunately, more often than not, the media portrays coyotes very negatively. So often we see descriptors like that the coyotes are aggressive, or they're going to attack somebody, or they have attacked somebody, or they are, menacing. Using negative words when the media describes coyotes is really unfair, and just completely untrue.
The vast majority of coyotes that live in Toronto are afraid of people. They want to stay away from people. They're shy. They're elusive. They have proper behaviors and know to move away from people and pets when they encounter them. However, we do see sometimes that coyotes' behaviors can be changed based on the activities or even the infrastructure created by humans.
The biggest problem behavior that people have that affects coyotes is feeding of coyotes.
Can be hand feeding, which is of course the worst type of feeding. It can be leaving bowls of food out for them. It can be not cleaning up your garbage properly.
It essentially trains them that people could be a source of food. They see someone walking down the street and their thoughts have changed from, I have to run away from that person and go hide, to, oh, I wonder if I'm going to get something, easy and yummy to eat from that person. As a result, their fight or flight distance could change. They could become a lot more comfortable just being much closer to people. Another behavior is off-leash dogs. We have to be really, really careful with our pets and just trying to put ourselves in the mind of a coyote. A coyote doesn't understand the behavior of a dog or a cat. If they're little, it might see them as a potential food item, not understanding that it's okay to eat a rabbit, but it's not okay to eat a chihuahua or a cat. It doesn't know that. But bigger dogs, medium to large sized dogs that often terrorize coyotes, quite frankly.
This can lead to the coyotes becoming very, very stressed and reactive when they see dogs.
It is breeding season, and that doesn't necessarily mean dramatic changes in their behavior, but maybe they have babies. Maybe they're preparing to have babies, and they now feel like these other animals have become the aggressor, and they need to charge at them and chase them off, and might even step up that aggression if they're terrified for their lives. But I have to say, I have found that many times the coyote was not the one that caused the problem, or at least not at the beginning of whatever one would consider the problem.
This is really unfair to our coyote neighbors that are continually misrepresented when these situations occur.
It also paints coyotes as being kind of a bad animal, if you will. And if you're a bad animal, then that does give some people justification to actually harm coyotes, which is always very sad.
There you go. Just hang tight, okay? It's okay. It's okay, bud. Looks like something's wrapped around his back.
Recently, a coyote was admitted who had become trapped by a fence with a painful snare caught around his body. As he panicked and struggled, the snare only became tighter, causing incredibly severe wounds.
Really have to think about the pain and the suffering that this coyote would have gone through, and really how unjust it is given their inherent right just to live in these spaces as they always have. All of this misinformation and lack of knowledge regarding coyotes in our environments led to this terrible situation. Unfortunately, the coyote was not able to be rehabilitated, and our veterinary team had to make the very difficult choice to provide humane euthanasia to end this coyote's suffering. But this is not how it should have ended for this coyote.
Generally, having cruel and inhumane lethal solutions for coyote problems, it doesn't achieve anything other than the suffering of that one animal.
Coyotes are a natural part of our neighborhoods. They have been here long before we have, and they have a really important role to play.
Coyotes are incredibly important animals in our ecosystem. We in urban areas, we don't have a lot in the way of terrestrial predators. Like we do have some birds of prey, but coyotes are critically important in maintaining healthy rodent populations. Keeping populations of mice and rats and squirrels in check. Without coyotes, we might see a very different landscape.
A lot of times people will say, well, it's not safe for them here. They're causing troubles for our pets. Can we just have them removed? Ecosystems, they don't leave gaps. So if a coyote or a coyote family leaves an area or is forcibly removed from an area, new coyotes will come in and fill that niche as a result.
So, how do we move forward? What needs to be done in order to successfully share our cities with our wild neighbors?
In order to have a peaceful coexistence with coyotes or any wild animals that we share our communities with, first and foremost, you just have to get to know that animal a little bit.
It's really upon us to make sure that we know everything we can about coyote behavior.
Information, education, identifying what the root causes of the problems are. In the case of feeding, obviously it just needs to stop. Full out, just needs to stop right away. In the case of off-leash dogs, the solution may be a bit longer, maybe more complicated. Certainly, first and foremost, the dogs need to be on leash.
If we take action through our policies and through changing our own human behaviors, we really will see these problems go down. It starts with losing fear and gaining the facts. And I totally understand why people are concerned about their pets. I think we have to balance the privilege of having wildlife in our cities and being responsible pet owners and doing the right thing for our pets to make sure they stay safe. If you're in an area where there may be coyotes, being vigilant, being aware, and keeping an eye on what your pet is doing and keeping them close at all times is really the best way to avoid any kind of conflict. Really consider what it takes for them in a day to find food, to find shelter, to raise their young amidst all of our traffic, being evicted from their den sites. It's quite challenging for them. So building our empathy and understanding how difficult life can be for them can be a starting point for us. Let's empower ourselves. Let's work together to make sure that our cities are safe for coyotes and for all wildlife as well as people.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell to be notified when we share new content. We would also love if you shared this video with a friend.